That reminds me of a manga I read where like pathetic lesbian hired a hooker just to like sleep in the same bed as her. It's something like my experience as a pathetic lonely lesbian.
Oh God, I wasn't even far off. Shit.
Yeah. Like, it's a good time.
Doesn't she also have like a bald spot on her head that she's like very like isn't that
yeah,
like
she like tears out her hair. She tears out her hair all the time, and so now she has like bald spots on her head. It's an experience to read. I remember reading it years ago, and the shit in it just stuck with me. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
Just imagine somebody coming up to you like, "Hey, you shouldn't be reading that because lesbianism shouldn't be fetishized. You're taking advantage of their culture," and you're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Aren't you watching like a schoolgirl lesbian, or not schoolgirl, magical lesbian girl lesbian thing? What the fuck is it?
Yeah, gushing over magical girls.
Yeah,
it's
I assume gushing is a pun, like a double entendre. Sorry.
I don't know if it's the double entendre in Japanese. I don't know enough like intricacies of Japanese for that, but it sure as fuck works for English.
I've seen your Skyrim mods. Nothing surprises me anymore. No shame here. You do what you do.
If you're not playing sex Skyrim mods, are you really playing Skyrim?
I mean, what's you know what? One of the like most well-written Skyrim mods is a mod called Thief, where it's got like 60 different routes that you can do.
No shit.
That all involve like having sex to get your items back.
They really buried the lead on that one, huh?
Ever eaten bread made out of your own cum?
Why not just eat cum?
Well, you see,
it all goes full circle. I see.
Exactly.
Remen Cyrodiil can't know that he's eating his own cum, because otherwise he won't be able to maintain his humbleness. But he needs to eat his own cum in order to maintain his immortality.
Right.
So his sister wives, they secretly bake his cum into the bread that they feed him every day. What I'm saying is Chris Chan with the Fanta is not too far off.
So you're telling me Chris Chan's a god?
Yes. I think Chris Chan would tell you that as well. Remen Cyrodiil is the ninth divine.
Christine Chandler.
You know, the divines, Mara, Debella, Akatosh, Christine Weston Chandler.
Yeah, she's the patron saint of working on it. I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
You put Talos on Earth, you better uninstall them. You better unload them.
I want all those images of Numidium off the internet.
I've got the guards on it. I got the blades on it.
Listen. Do you know what would happen?
Do you understand what the Cyrodiil Health County would do if they saw those videos?
What Kavach County will do is they saw these videos.
They would open up a gate and we'd have to move out of our realm. Working on it.
I'm working on it.
You find the last Dragonborn heir and get them that amulet, or there'll be hell to pay. Get on it. Blondie, did I ever send you a message about Morrowind mods, or did I like half type that drunk and then be like, I don't know, bugger?
I don't remember. What did you want to talk about Morrowind mods? There's lots of great Morrowind mods.
I was going to say, like, I don't have a lot of time to play a lot of games. I've always wanted to play Morrowind, and I'm just going to fully admit off the fucking cuff, it's too old. It's just too goddamn old. I don't have a problem reading. It's just, if there's anything you could do, any mods you got, like, off the cuff, just hanging around the desk or your fucking coat pocket or something, that you can toss my way to kind of ease me into the experience so I can play arguably the best Elder Scrolls, I'd super hella appreciate it.
I understand the absolute despisement of like wanting to get into Morrowind. I get it. All the criticisms were valid. They're true. If anything needs to be like brought up to a modern generation, it needs to be Morrowind. But there is no such thing as a remaster of that classic. If they bring it up to modern standards, they're just going to destroy everything it was. They're going to take out the dice roll combat and they'll turn it into a Skyrim clone. It's just going to have the veneer of Morrowind. And I think there's already a mod out there doing that, building Morrowind in the Skyrim.
That's never gonna fucking come out.
And no one's
And then I played
clamoring to build Skyrim in the Morrowind engine. Like that's not happening.
Oh, well, actually,
yeah, I was gonna say.
funny you mentioned that. They did do that. They did do that.
Did it do gangbusters? Did everybody get on board? Where they're like, hell yeah, Skyrim in the old on that engine.
It's called.
Hey man, all 5 Morrowind fans were elated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's called Skyrim Home of the Nords. It's a grand old time where you can travel to the Reach, and in Morrowind, it's takes place during the time of Morrowind, but you're in Skyrim. And there's also the DLC for Morrowind where you go to Skyrim. So there's plenty of Skyrim.
That's where Solstheim came from, right? Solstheim and Werebears?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a little bit of
I
shit.
can't wait to read that game.
I will say when I remember playing Morrowind and I was like, man, I wish there was no dice roll combat. And then as soon as I started playing Oblivion, I was like, what have I wished for? I was the dumbest person in the world. They oversimplified it in Oblivion, and then they even simplified it even more in Skyrim.
I appreciate Morrowind for what it was when it came out, but it's too classic. It is what it is, and it needs to stay that way. It'd be like trying to remake the Matrix now these days. It won't work. It's a product of its time.
That's funny. They also did that. They called it the Matrix
4?
Resurrected, and it fucking stuck dead.
Yeah, that seemed like such a cynical move to make that movie. I was just struck. Like, was the money that good from the studios that you couldn't say no? So you just kind of like trashed the studio and even being involved in it, and you just made like this parody. Like, I don't know what it was trying to be.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. If I remember right, the director, they were gonna make it with or without the director. So,
so it's like we got.
Fuck it, I'll make the worst fucking movie ever, so it bombs.
Right, and it was just like it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to be that way. And I suffered for like a couple hours watching this movie. It was like, I'm sad. I don't like this anymore. I don't want to be sitting here anymore.
Why should I have to suffer because you hate your boss? Like, that's what it all comes down to.
I appreciate
fuck you, Warner Brothers, but fuck me too.
Like you're good for you for like giving like Warner Brothers the finger, but why did I have to pay for like to sit through your fucking shit? Like, this is like some kind of therapy. Did I just pay to watch somebody sit through therapy, or like have some kind of like anger management thing going on, like watching someone else's pissing match? Like, those are great when they're 10-second clips on Twitter. They don't make for good cinema.
That's why it's never like A, always check reviews. B, pirating is
it's even
immoral and wrong.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Like, that's illegal.
I got like that same feeling watching that Ghostbusters movie with the original cast. Just like, okay, so the Lady Ghostbusters sucked, so they drug you guys out, literally one of them out of the grave, to make this movie, and it was just like, this is sad. This is all just depressing.
The first half was actually good. The whole like, is he in the Matrix? And he's like, Neo, what are you doing in my house? Okay, you're having an episode. I was gripped. I was like, all right, it's kind of lame, but like I'm with this new idea. And then after that, I get a shot-for-shot fucking remake of the Smith fight, the Merovingian for no goddamn reason, and an inferior Morpheus.
Well, not that Keanu Reeves is particularly good at like emoting, but it was just like, he was really flat. It's just all like sucked. Yeah. Like, put Lawrence Fishburne back in there. Maybe he could have like tried.
They were just in a fucking movie together. They were just in John Wick 3.
Right. I don't give a shit. So what? Look at Adam Sandler's movies. He puts the same fucking people in there all the time, and they did gangbusters.
Oh, I didn't mean like they just did it so they shouldn't. I mean, they just did it, so why not do it again?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the chemistry's there. They're working together. They're getting coffee and eating off of like the craft like tables and shit together. They could have it going. But like, it gave me like a really weird like sense of appreciation for like the old Xbox games that like tried to like continue the Matrix stuff, like where you were like Ghost and Neo. Neo, yeah, Path to Neo with their redone ending. The one where you were like the two side characters and they were kind of like doing their own thing. Like I can't remember, was it Path of the One or Enter the Matrix is what it was called. And they actually like shot like movie quality cutscenes for that. And they used the actors from the movies and there was like real heart, real effort. And then they come out with this like latest movie. It's just like, well, Jesus Christ, thanks for showing up. You guys clearly made a paycheck. What you got out of it though was $20 out of me and a movie I forgot that even existed till I dug into this memory hole, and now I suddenly remember it existed. What a waste.
I mean, the real answer is you just watch the first Matrix movie and the Animatrix, and if you want, you can watch the other.
No, the real thing is to remember when you watched it in theaters when you were like 10 and be happy with that. Just live in nostalgia. Because embracing anything that they mold for today's audience that was made in those nostalgic times is going to be shit. It's just. Are
you really trying to sell a Morrowind fan on living in nostalgia, bro? You're preaching to the choir.
Damn, Skippy.
Living in nostalgia. I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 all day.
Dude, I recently sat okay, my wife, she is not like a Trekkie fan, right? And I had her sit through the Chris Pine movies and we watched those. And then we got into the motion pictures, starting with the first Shatner movie, right? Getting up through Search for Spock, all those. She was gripped by Search for Spock. She loved that one. And it's because there's it was heartful and everyone was trying and it was real craft. There's models and miniatures and an actual story, and it wasn't just nostalgia based. It was doing its own thing. And I don't know. I'm just bitching to bitch. Go on.
Oh no, I was just saying that also made me sad about this. I'm not a fan of Star Wars, but it made me sad that they made the models for the Star Wars movies for the second trilogy, and then they were like, "No, that's not going to sell. We have to use CG," even though they made models that were really good. That was so upsetting.
It blew her mind when she was watching the Voyage Home, and they had the shot of the whales, right? And it's it's not CG, it's not real whales, but they used miniatures and little camera trickery, and it looked real as shit for the times. It didn't look like hot garbage where you're just kind of taken out of it because it doesn't look real, it doesn't feel real.
That's why you have Q as your profile picture. You like Star.
Yes, I didn't just pull up a picture. I didn't go into Google and type pompous ass and
I
go
thought
with
you
the
were
first
just
image I found.
I thought you were just a big fan of redcoats or some shit, and you didn't know.
No, I know who that is.
I'm being very sarcastic. I'm fucking with you.
That's John Delancey, you motherfucker.
Yeah, he's James' dad, motherfucker. I know. God damn it. James' dad in Breaking Bad. I know that motherfucker.
I didn't know he was.
He was also in My Little Pony. He's big into that scene too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I see him. I don't know how he does it. He's a really good sport about it and treats all the fans. If I went to that convention, I would have a freaking pocket vodka if I went to those fucking conventions.
Zwick, if we're your friends, I would hate to meet your fans.
As you should.
We are his fans.
One of us.
We're all here.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh fuck. No, I'm trying to get to the leftover Cumtown market where it's oh, they say fag and retard here? Oh, I gotta check this out.
Hey, I'm only allowed to say one of those.
I thought I gave you a pass a long time.
Guess which one? Use your phone and place your votes now.
Don't give this Dragon a pass. It's too much power for him.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. The 15% giving me a pass.
Oh, but Zwick, man, I gotta tell you, dude. I started my new employment today, and I am gonna have stories after a little bit of time. Oh boy.
You got one for the class right now, or?
Dude, no, I don't. And not yet. Not yet. It's a lot of. It's a long story. It'd be a long thing for me to draw out. But there's a lot of things going on, and it's fascinating right now. It's fascinating, and it's going to become horrifying. But for now, it's fascinating.
Thank God you live like behind plexiglass, so you don't get fucking.
Are you kidding me? I'm not going to be behind no plexiglass.
Oh yeah,
Shit.
no, yeah. I was a cook for a prison for
No.
a little bit. I didn't even see the
No,
prisoners.
no, man. I got my first compliment from a sergeant, and she said I look like a serial killer, and I was like, good, like good. Like if
When in
I'm
Rome.
if I am all business, if that's all you see, then good. I should at least scare half of these fucking people.
Right.
Because that's what I'm going for. It was like my first trip out on the yard today. So it was just like, yeah,
That's why I can't go to prison. Like I would be a guard and be like, all right, listen up, and then they would just beat me down and rape the shit out of me just for fun, and everyone would laugh. I would trip.
Well, here's like the oddball thing, right? This is the South. All right. I am such a I don't want to, like a black sheep, man, like a black sheep among this. Like I'm starting to like understand something in regards to like law enforcement and people's views on it, but it's from an insider's point of view, and I'm starting to like get it. And it's a mentality that carries with the young people that start in law enforcement as their first career. I fucking get it.
Why are they fucking pricks?
Dude, they've got kind of like a misconstrued idea of like how things are supposed to work in like a civilized society.
No.
Yeah, it's like you need real world experience. You shouldn't graduate high school. The very first thing you do is get the keys to I don't know, other people's freedoms or access over their right. You know, basically, if you forego the ability to interact with society at large, if you just skip that and you go to a place of authority, I think you miss something along the way. I think there's something you will not get.
I got bullied in high school, and now I want to take my revenge on the world. What I'm expecting,
right? And that could be part of it, but it's also just like
I didn't shoot up that school so I could just sit around doing some menial labor. No, I'm gonna do menial for people.
You gotta have the self-control to not shoot the school. You gotta wait for the acorn to fall and get a badge.
Right. The part of
it. For the record, I'm agreeing with you.
People always say it's the bullies that take the law enforcement job. No, it's people that, it's almost people that speak the language of violence, and that's across any personality type. If you've got like a terrible home upbringing and your school is fine, it's this idea that you can use violence to get cooperation. And I swear to God, when I went in and I did my interview and shit, and I'm just like, listen, I've had 12 years experience of learning to negotiate, not walking in thinking I was the biggest person in the room. I understood what it meant to meet in the middle, because I understood as a debt collector, I'm dealing with people that have debt, and that's no fun to be in debt. It's no fun to be in the red. But I knew that, and I didn't ever wield that as like a bully stick. I never used my position of you owe me money as a means to just be an ass. That's not how the world works.
I think, to put it, if I may, power does not attract the powerful; it attracts the impotent.
Right. Well, compromise is not a game of where you walk away with everything you want. That is not the art of compromise. You get something you want, I get something I want. You take a loss, I take a loss. It's a very human thing to compromise. It's a very human thing to meet in the middle. It's when you think that you've got all the power on your one side where you've forgone the other person's humanity. And that's like been kind of eye-opening to me, because I haven't been exposed to people that carry that mentality so much. I'm seeing it for the first time, and it's kind of blowing my mind.
Wow.
It's pretty fun.
I mean, what else did you expect from cops?
I'm not trying to shit on all cops.
I was raised by one. I was raised by a very good one. So what did I expect? I expected quite a lot of different things than what I'm seeing. So I grew up with them. I understood who was a good one. I understood who was a bad one. But it's when you see who's getting pulled into it at a young age, that's different. These are kids that are fresh out of high school. I'm almost 40. Okay, I'm watching kids that are 20 getting into the same thing I'm getting myself into, and they've got a completely different perspective on why they're there.
It's a terrifying thing, I can imagine. From the inside, like, yeah, you get to see them when they're not on body cam, hear the things they talk about. It's got to be kind of a shock to the system, I would imagine.
Well, it is, but part of it also, too, is that some folks have not learned how to compartmentalize. And so you go in with the attitude of just like, let the child molesters kill each other, right? Seems fair. Right. They deserve it. Well, except for the part where when I'm compartmentalized, it's like, well, no, they got arrested, they were adjudicated, and they were ordered into prison, and they have to finish out their term. I'm here to make sure that term is fulfilled. You know, I don't have any ill will towards anybody in there because, yeah, you'll have a child molester in there, you'll have a murderer in there, but then you'll also have a person who accidentally, or not accidentally, they broke their probation because they picked up a second DUI. Now they got to go finish out their 4-year deferred sentence, and they got to be in that same prison for 2 years. And so it's like you can't have this mentality of everyone fits like the same shoe. Everyone's in there, deserves to be in there, and they should be scoffed at and treated like shit. Everyone's different. So, and these guys don't really kind of have that grasp. It's that inmate versus guard, and it's as stark as that. And that's kind of like what's kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Just have a disconnect between like, oh, you're already serving the consequence of your action. Like, you know, these child molesters. I mean, yeah, if you wanted to take vigilante justice into the equation, yeah, I mean, sure, go ham. But the fact is, they got caught by the police, and so it's the police's job to, it's the court's job to enact the justice in a lawful manner. And as a result, you can't be like, oh, well, just let them kill each other, because that's not how you maintain peace in a, you know, in such a delicate framework. Yeah,
well, everyone's human. Everyone, I don't want to like sound like some like bleeding heart here. You know, everyone makes mistakes, but at the same time, also everyone's got somebody that loves them, and you know, God forbid that you just send them to a place where everyone's just going to wish the worst for them. Nobody really wants that. Ask any mother who had a child that fucked up.
There's a hard line between, is prison a place for reform or a place of punishment? Like, that's if we truly believe that it's a place for reform, let's enact that fucking reform. If it's a place for punishment, let's fucking punish them, and let's not blend the two. Like, let's figure out what this shit's for. Be like, oh, that guy, well, he's in the same prison as these guys, but he's the all right guy. But this guy, no, he's in here for punishment. Like, yeah, you can't have that. You either trust in the system or you fucking give everybody the debt. I think I'm agreeing with you in a stupid, ignorant way. I'm sorry. Didn't make a lot of sense. Came out of my mouth.
This is nuanced. This is my first foray into all of this. As I move along and I get more involved, I'm going to have a wider perspective or a wider view on things. It's just, like I said, it's fascinating being like almost the oldest person in the room and just kind of watching these young kids, and they come in and they want to be all muscles. And it's like, you bring no tact with you. You had as a young person, you had a view of how this is going to go. And so when somebody doesn't listen to you, the very first thing you want to do is flex your muscle. And it's like, I don't think that's going to work. And if it does work, it's going to be done out of fear. And it's toxic in that kind of sense. So when you want reform or you want people to change, you don't do it that way, man. Like, it's just like with dogs. If you want a dog to listen, you don't just beat it every time it doesn't sit its ass down on the ground. You get a fearful dog that way. I'm not trying to compare people to dogs or anything like that. Just trying to kind of show that, it's a simple mentality of how to train a dog.
I think the dog analogy works because you're talking about an owner-master relationship where one party holds all the power and they're trying to condition another party. Call it reformation. Yeah, exactly. The power dynamic. Thank you for making me not sound so stupid. Appreciate that.
Right, it's all good. And like I said, it's fascinating. I really don't know where I'm going to end up there. All these departments are kind of sizing people up with my training group, and they're poaching. And they're poaching people based on their brawn. Well, you're going to be in my ward because I need muscle. And all these muscle guys are all getting poached for departments. I'm kind of sitting there going you haven't even evaluated these people's skills. You just saw their brawn, and you're going to put them to work in that regard. You have no clue. You literally like sat us in this room and told us to read manuals, and you just saw the size of muscles, and you're already deciding that they're good for this job or that. You could be this guy could be fucking more psychotic than than the people on your ward. You don't know that, and it's just, I just kind of like taken aback by it all.
I mean, hopefully it's one of those fields where the types that come in just looking for power, just looking to use their muscles, don't last long. But I couldn't tell you. I know that, like, because I work in, rehabilitation of borderline juvenile delinquents, and for us, like, yeah, you get those types that just want to swing their dick around and just be the toughest guy in the room, and the kids just won't fucking respect it. Like, I can't say the same for prisoners. That it's a different dynamic with adults and kids, but yeah, I mean, those types don't last, and we also get like a lot of as the admissions counselor puts it, liberal do-gooders who come in and are they come in, they want to fix them. Yeah,
right. It's a balanced approach. You can't just use feeling the entire time. And then again, you can't just be all muscle. It's no different than parenting. You can't be a helicopter parent because your kid's going to turn out like a piece of shit. And you can't be a completely authoritarian, do what I say parent. That kid's going to rebel against you and turn out to be a little shit in a different manner. It's a balanced approach. It's always been that way. People are no different. Strangers are no different.
Exactly.
They'll take advantage of you if you're weak, and if you're too strong, they're just going to appease you, out of fear.
I've only got
the people with that balance that it's a pain in the ass to find them. Same thing with parents. Like, I mean, I think everyone can tell you where their parents fucked up in one way or another. And I mean, I don't think anyone's ever perfect in these rehabilitation roles of authority, but you definitely end up seeing the difference. I know I sure do, where I just the other day, I had these girls rioting, and one of my coworkers, and they beat a little girl's ass, but that little girl kind of started it. One of my coworker was like, "Oh, we should give her as many consequences as we can," and I'm just like, "Well, no, she already served part of the consequence of her actions by getting her ass beat. Like, that already was we didn't enforce that consequence, but are we really going to act like that didn't happen? Like, shit." And yeah, I mean, it's about that balance, about knowing that, and in my experience, very few people know how to have that balance.
Right.
You get a handful, and then some of them don't even last because these fields are fucking draining.
They are, and it's and so like where I'm at, and this is all just I'm hardly into it yet, and I'm already having to like consider what like my kind of future options are. I like I don't want to say this. I like where the job has put me. Like, I am now like a state employee. I have a pension. I'm looking at 50 grand plus a year. I have full health, full benefits. I'm going to get certified in this field, that field, and the other, and they'll pay for my college. And there's all this like opportunity, like right at your fingertips. And it's like, it's a dream setup for success, and it's like drawing in some of like the most, I don't want to say undeserving, but like, I don't know, one-dimensional type types.
Sounds a lot like
it feels right. It feels like slightly misplaced though, because everyone's got the opportunity to learn, and hopefully I'm wrong and these folks kind of mellow out. Maybe everyone's just trying to put on like a bro show while they're there.
I hope but a lot of that is
right. But if it ends up being the case where it's just kind of like not my style, I have this opportunity to move on into other ventures, which is I just got to do a 2-year commitment. I'm out the door. I can go wherever the fuck I want within the state.
If you don't mind me asking, do you have that MERS, like a municipal something retirement fund, where it's like you get vested for so many years, and then like 3% of your paycheck or a percentage of your paycheck goes into retirement for every year? Do you get that kind of municipal shit or not?
No, the way it works and the way it was explained to me is, say, and this would be like best case scenario, I worked for the state for 25 years. The state then Well, then look at my 5 highest gross paid months, average it, and then pay me 90% of that as pension.
That's not too fucking bad, dude.
Right. Now, and that'll put me
25-year minimum.
Right. 25 years to get 90%, 20 years at 70%. It's like a
okay. So you have the early option.
Right.
Gotcha.
Now, if I stay 25 years, I'll be 63, 2 years away from retirement age. So you take your pension, couple it with, Social Security, God willing, it still exists then. I'll be damn happy.
Social Security. Yeah, that'll still be around.
Right. So if I've secured a state pension, I don't give a fuck about Social Security. I'll be set.
Oh, I just want to say something about the pension. Apparently, I heard that there's millionaires that are either got out of it or trying to get out of paying Social Security because they're never going to use it. And that's upsetting.
That's hilarious.
I can see it. I can literally see it.
With not paying Social Security, but we all have to. Fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what would be the entrance for that? I'm sorry, the bar to entry for that. Would you have to prove that you'll never need it? Can I opt out just on the virtue that I don't think it will fucking exist? I wonder what loopholes they'll find to allow them to opt out.
See, you have to be rich enough
I don't think they're going to on
pay
paper
money. You have to be able to afford a lobbyist.
I'm wondering the on paper reason they'll give, because they're not going to say if you make X amount of money you don't have to pay money. They're not going to come out and say that fucking bullshit. I'm wondering how they're going to spin it.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. I think that was supposed to be the spin, was the thing. Like, we're never going to use it, so we shouldn't have to pay.
Fucking assholes.
No, no.
Well, I don't get any money on my tax returns every year, so I shouldn't have to pay them. Okay.
In the end, though, this whole adventure, it's literally just to make my wife and kids happy. Like, that's it. I just intend to work to the bone. Buy up some adjoining land next to my house, hand off my guest house to my kids so I can build my main house. I give my wife all the room she wants to garden and plant flowers, and I'll be the beast of burden. That's so traditional, but I get the appeal because that's what I'm going for.
You have like the story of the origin story of someone who enacts mass revenge on people.
Yeah, someone's going to shoot my fucking dog is how this is going to go, and it's going to go all haywire. It's going to go downhill from there.
You're going to be chopping wood on an old stump in front of your house when a guy in a government suit will come up. Leo, been a long time. Nobody here by that name, boss. Let's think you got the wrong house, stranger. Leo, your country needs you. I gave up that life a long time ago. God, I want
we need somebody who's not a dumbass to come in and handle this emergency.
I said already you got the wrong house. Road's back where you came. All right. I thought you should know, though.
My smart ways when I retired. You knew that.
Yeah. You're wearing like a replica shirt of the Star Trek Enterprise. You're like the full Picard uniform, shopping wood. You're like, off my bridge. Get your ass off my bridge. And then your house explodes. Shit. We thought you should know. It was Sergio. Yeah.
Well, it just, I don't know, man. I'm almost too humble to like live down here. Like my sights on things are so low. Like everyone's talking about getting a beach house, having a boat and a yacht and like this, and I'm just like, man, I just want a fence. I just want to put up a fence. That's all I want.
I was trying to pin down where in the South you live.
But what I've discovered is setting yourself humble goals in life is the way to set yourself up for like actually succeeding. Because if you're like, I want a yacht, I want to be able to go on vacation to the Bahamas every day. Like that's never gonna fucking happen. Okay.
I just want time to play Morrowind. I want a week to play Disco Elysium and I'll be fucking happy.
No, you said you were trying to pin down where I live.
Yeah, because I'm in Louisiana, and then you said beach house, and I was but you don't ruin the game. Don't ruin the game. No context clues. It's like beach house and yacht.
Story.
Right.
I take pride in
Mississippi's
this.
out, Alabama's out, Louisiana's out. Texas is probably out unless you live in Galveston, but nobody brings fucking yachts to Galveston. So Georgia and Florida are left.
There you go. Anyways, yeah, I'm here. If you don't know my origin story, if you don't know the lore, okay, I'm a guy who's from North. I'm a guy from North Dakota, and I lived there for 38 years. Got wife, I got my 3 kids, and I was working 70 hours a week. And it was and my wife was too. And it was driving us nuts because it was enough to pay the mortgage, to pay the insurance, and it left us a couple $100 at the end of all of it. It's expensive to live there.
It's fucking bullshit to live up there, dude.
Especially when you gotta keep the wood chipper in fine condition, just in case you need to get rid of your buddy.
Hey,
I get it.
I was born in that town of that very movie. I was born in.
No shit.
Oh, Fargo. What a coincidence! I was born in the other town.
You have a very
in that movie.
Yo, you have a very
neutral accent.
No,
I do. That's the voice. That's the voice acting going in place here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about
the hop on the Discord with Zwick over here.
Yeah.
I gotta hop on the Discord with Zwick, the editor. Oh wait, why'd I go into Irish?
Why are you Irish all of a sudden? Are you?
I went from Minnesota to Irish.
Hey, you're from North Carolina, man.
But here's where it turned interesting. I lived the traditional. Okay, I started with an apartment. Met the wife. We got a bigger apartment. Family grew. Got a single wide trailer. Family kept growing. Moved up to a house, and so we sold the house and we bought an empty, hurricane-ravaged plot of land down here in Florida. And the trees were falling. The branches. What?
Sorry, I knew it was Florida. God damn it!
Right. Well, they call it Southern Georgia.
I was about to say you were kind of correct because it's also Southern Georgia. So Florida, Georgia,
Southern Georgia
pinpoint.
Right.
I knew it was Southern Georgia the whole time.
Southern Georgia. So my wife and I spent the last 6 months, just the two of us, cutting down the trees, clearing the land, and we built our house. It just needs to be sited. And it's all done on the outside.
I've been following your house building thing. I see the boards.
Yeah, there you go. That's the origin story. Was just fed up with it. We sold the house for a good chunk of change. We bought it for $169,000 and we sold it for $240,000 after all the improvements we did to it.
Oh yeah,
we left us some good money.
Sold the whole apartment.
Yeah, we took all of our skills down here, and neither one of us had really done this. And it was just it's a really weird sense of accomplishment. Having done all this, just the two of us.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks, man. The dream was to get out from ever paying rent or mortgage ever again. Because that shit eats your checks. A mortgage will eat your first month check and it will eat half of your second month. And it's just sickening. And the same goes for rent in any big city. You work for 2 paychecks, and more than likely 1 1/4 of them is going right to your fucking landlord, and that's depressing as shit.
Isn't property tax ridiculously high right now?
Yes, yeah, I can compare it.
Shit.
My property tax, my annual
I don't know if I paid
tax.
Yeah.
Annual property tax back where I was, $2,700. $2,700 annual property tax.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm at now, annual $103.
Jeez. Holy shit.
Yes.
I might have to move to Florida.
That has no. I don't recommend that. Because how many times I said, I am out in the woods. I am in the middle of nowhere. I have no utilities. I have no service. I had to build a well. I have to put in septic. I got to do all these things. All the amenities. If you're used to a big city, if you're used to the nightlife, this ain't for you. This is not going to cut it.
Ted Kaczynski dream I've always wanted, but I'm too much talent to commit to.
So I know when we were in the Thought Cops Discord and all that, these guys are so used to living in Chicago. Mm-hmm. I had such a hard time relating some of this to some of the guys in there because they've got the big city mentality. Mm-hmm. And it's I'll be missing all this, that, and the other. It's man, I never had that to begin with. I won't miss what I've never had, but you guys, fuck. And I would feel bad even inviting you guys onto my property to come hang out because the nearest bar is probably 10 miles away.
You think I'm coming without bringing booze?
I live across the street from I live across the street from acres of cane fields, and behind my house, I have enough space between the next house that I can shoot my guns in the backyard. I'm good. I'm quite
think that's rad
content.
as
Not that
shit.
this is a pissing contest or anything, but like, yeah, no, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
And I respect it,
so-
frankly. I respect the shit out of it.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
miss anything.
what?
Yeah, I don't miss a thing. Like with my like former like hometown. Like sure, you know, a 10-minute drive to get to work. You know, so what? You know, I never was like a nightlife person. I don't have to be like socially engaged 3 or 4 nights out of the week. And so it's just like I'll have this quiet little humble life out in the woods, and that's all I need.
You telling me that you're almost 40, got a wife and 3 kids, and you're not out here crushing pussy at bars and living the nightlife? I don't believe it.
I know I haven't accumulated enough divorces to warrant that type of lifestyle. Now, if I was twice divorced,
Well, then
you bet
get
I'd be
going,
right out
little
there with it.
feller.
Oh shit!
Get
I
on it,
haven't
little
done
fella.
enough to make anyone angry enough to divorce me yet. I gotta start hitting people since I'm down here. I gotta start hitting and drinking. I mean, I'm too old for that.
You're right.
I can't learn new tricks. I'm too old for that shit.
Go up to someone's seafood boil and dump a pack of raw hot dogs right into the boil. You'll get your time. You'll get your licks.
Oh man, no, it's I want to think I'm doing things right, and it's such a rare thing.
Mhm.
Well,
I
you know,
wanna
you're
think
not
that-
doing things right until you start building the pipe bombs.
Yeah.
I was going to say the still, but that might explode as well. So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Baloney and I high five at IEDs.
So,
I'm 5'5" in the air,
anyways.
Baloney. You better.
Hey, referring to my craft as improvised is an insult to the artistry.
Referring to your craft as improvised is a legal defense.
my
You
mentality
said-
on it is baloney. Once you get in trouble with the Fed, come hang out with me. No one's gonna come looking for you in the middle of this fucking forest.
I can't
I
afford
don't
to
even.
go.
I could put a
But that's your
mailbox
crazy
up on my
grandma lives
property, and the
there.
mail won't even come.
If you don't mind me
the idea
asking,
was-
how many acres do you have?
Right now, I've got 1.75 acres, and I'm looking
God
to incorporate another 2.
You bad motherfucker.
And he also has a haunted VHS tape that he refuses to watch.
Oh Jesus Christ! I completely forgot about that. I'm waiting for the oldest child to come down here so she can share in that Evil Dead curse. I will pull that tape and play it until I've got my
What the-
next of kin ready to go down with the ship.
Was the tape sitting on your property when you first showed up in a perfect cut ring of grass? Just like,
No,
like
man,
almost like the plants didn't want to grow around it?
It's even more insidious
no,
than that.
this tape has its own lore. This has its whole thing. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I
They
was-
don't call you Leo the Boring. Goddamn. All right, let's see it.
right. So no, when
Sorry,
I, when
Leo,
I, when I,
comma.
when I got, it's all right. When I was down on the property and we were clearing it, across the road is this completely overgrown lot. All this is hurricane ravage. This latest hurricane came through, knocked so much shit over. So through the fallen trees, through the dense brush, I was looking at something I thought was a shed, and it was just completely dilapidated. It wasn't a shed. It was a tarp that had become so discolored and just hard as a rock. It had been there since 1997. Underneath that tarp it's like a cloth tarp, was a camper. That's how I figured out the year of that. It's been sitting there because the license plate said it was from 97. So I kind of look at this camper. It's falling apart. Earth's
Jesus
gravity is
Christ.
bringing it down. The mold, the wet, it's all falling
Fucking
apart.
white people.
Right, but right through an open window, as I poked my head in, right by where this bed in this camper is this like stack of like there's like 2 or 3 unmarked VHS tapes just sitting there, and they look in good condition. They're not like rude or
Just
anything. They're
whispering
just
to
there.
me. It's
And
not
it's
like I can hear or anything, like whispering right into my head.
All right, I could just grab these tapes and go to a pawn shop and find a VHS player, and see what's on these tapes. Now, what might be on these tapes? Who knows? Who knows, man? If I had seen like a video recorder in there, I could really begin to speculate. However,
How
no
big were
such-
the
no
bones?
such thing
Like
to be found.
child-sized bones in there or adult bones?
Let's say I found a child's teddy bear sitting on the bed, so we're gonna, speculate
Yeah,
yet further.
a child's teddy bear that looks like it had split his own throat.
Child's teddy bear that was in way too good of condition to have been in that camper.
I'm not even superstitious, but this is just animal at this point. Run.
Right.
The fuck?
Right, man. So now do you see why I want to drag my next of kin into this and make sure she gets cursed too? So at some point,
It'll build
I intend
character.
to, right. We're going to watch this horror show together. And if I'm going down, you're going with me. And so at some point, I'm going to retrieve these tapes and I'm going to put them in a box and send them to Zwick. And then he can watch them.
Oh,
You can
shit,
tell
that's
what's on.
awesome. So what
I'm
you're
gonna
saying is Zwick is
suck.
your next of kin. He's going to inherit all that beautiful land.
I hope it's like a dude jerking off in a ski mask. That would make my day, right? If that was the thing.
It's
Yeah,
a video
I
on the
watched,
stream
I
you
watched the
haven't done yet.
tapes, and it was just recordings of Star Trek Voyager episodes.
I've got the bar even less. I'm thinking it's like old recorded, like, Dr. Phil episodes, or like, or those soap operas.
Days
like,
of Our Lives.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
I've already locked
Days
in
of
my
Our
bet,
Lives.
and I'm keeping it locked in.
As the world turns, or some shit like that.
I like what Baloney's hitting at because you're a Trekkie. So if Zwick gets the fucking Star Trek tapes, he's gonna be like, "Wait, this is oh no!" And like you're just watching the real tape. Like, all right, let's see what Captain Janeway does today. It's just the devil.
Or like the tape is like degraded, so it's Star Trek, but it's degraded tape, so it gives it kind of that horror feeling to it. I hope it's the episode with Tuvix, and so it's just really just awful feeling. You feel
Tuvix,
terrible.
the villain with two cervixes.
I was literally
How
thinking
can I
the same thing.
No, man. If you don't
You
know the
cannot
lore behind
impregnate me,
Tuvix, man,
God.
that was a dark episode. That was when Janeway was like, "Oh, you're kind of a bitch. You kill people. You kill the person." Yeah. It's its own thing. It's its own thing.
You killed 7 of 9. She was 7 nights of a person.
Oh man.
Oh,
That's a deep cut.
wait.
That's a deep cut.
I didn't know we were talking about black people again.
Yeah, I wanted to do the Worf joke, but I was the Geordie outside against it. There's a Borg named 7 of 9. It's a whole thing.
Everyone knows she's hot.
Yeah,
That's like the-
I'm not blind to Star Trek. I'm not like a big Trekkie, but I've watched some Star Trek.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
very apparent why they replaced Cass with 7 of 9. And it had nothing to do with the acting chops.
Ah.
All sex appeal.
I'd like to spend.
Well, there's
never
one thing
mind.
Star Trek fans don't do. It's have sex.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
Enterprise came along, and then that shit was blatant, man.
Mhm.
Fucking Enterprise
I don't-
got a lot of shit for not being good,
Blatant
but it tried to be really sexy. They really
Is
tried.
Enterprise the one with Scott Bakula? Because I keep hearing about a Scott Bakula one, and I've got a blind spot for it.
Yeah.
Spot for it.
Yeah. It's got,
Oh,
that's the
hell yeah.
one. And
Fuck
so
yeah.
it's just like, yeah, you remember, Picard, and whoever, all the other stars. Let's go down on a away mission, and they come back and they go right to duty. Well, Enterprise is like, well, you went on a foreign alien planet, so you guys got to put antibiotic gel on you when you come back in. So strip naked and rub gel on each other. We got to record it and put it in the episode. And
Or
it was
somebody
just
like, I have to supervise.
Yeah, it's
right.
just like my
The
Sunday
captain's
parties.
prerogative. I get to put the gel on.
Worf, why are you dressed like a 21st century policeman? Oh, I'm sorry, I just accidentally spilled my fanfic.
Complete non sequitur, because Zwick and I were talking about the other day. Postal 3 is back up on Steam.
Is it
Oh,
really?
why though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The game
Why did it get
sucks.
pulled
just
in the
talking
first
about
place?
that.
Like, is it
Because
up
it was
there
the
for
lowest
free?
rated game on Steam before.
Yeah.
No. It's like $2 right now.
Okay, that's fair.
What?
So now,
Why did it go
now the rest
away?
of us can experience the
right.
Badger gun.
Running with Scissors, the people who made Postal 1 and 2 kind of were forced by their publisher to rush it out. And it got sent off to like a different studio to half-ass finish it.
Mhm.
So they've gone on record as saying like, we worked on it, but that's not our fucking game. Like, it's a game that has our name on it and we fucking hate it. So either the company that owns Running with Scissors or Running with Scissors themselves pulled it from Steam after poor reviews.
Gotcha.
One of the expansions for Postal 2 just straight up makes reference that it's not canon. Like it was a fever dream.
Also, different
Also
actor for
has
the
like a
dude.
canon, like a lore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kinda.
I mean,
yeah,
it's not
Postal-
sophisticated, but
Postal
there
has-
is a lore.
Postal 1 guy shoots up everyone, and then Postal 2 guy is his son, and he goes to get milk for his wife,
Right.
and then he stops Al Qaeda,
Right.
and then he has a drug trip. He tries to kill himself, ends up in the hospital,
Right.
hallucinates a bunch of creatures, throwing scissors, dies in a nuclear
I
explosion.
get it.
Nuclear explosion. Whatever the fuck happened in that second expansion for Postal 2, and yeah.
And then Postal 4.
Sounds like your
Maloney, will
regular
you-
old Kojima production.
Yeah.
Were you trying to do the ding dong voice, like "Man go to town and he eat"? Were you like channeling ding dong deliberately?
Not deliberately. I was just like,
It
doing a
worked. It worked very well.
Okay. Yeah.
That's Baloney owned now, trademark.
Mhm.
Yeah. Go play Postal. The Postal 2. Go play Postal 2.
Yeah. Postal
Sorry.
1 is supposed to be more serious, like to the point where if you play it in hard mode, like you actually hear you see his dark schizo thoughts.
Speaking of Postal 1, there was a official Postal 1 release on the Sega not Genesis, Dreamcast.
No shit.
What?
Yeah,
shit.
it was released like years after the Dreamcast went out of circulation, but it's officially like produced and ported. Yeah.
Huh.
Fuck that
I
tomato
thought
up. That guy's
I
a
was
bitch.
tripped out when you get Postal. Yeah, you can get. Times have changed. You can get Postal 1 and 2 on the Switch right now. That's not.
And,
Yeah.
oh my god, I can't believe the Jack Thompson game ended up on fucking
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Windows
fucking nuts.
10.
Baloney, did
Times
I send you the
have changed.
video of the two guys from Yakuza who had the Control-Alt-Delete Jack Thompson comic as back
Yes.
tattoos?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? I don't know what I expected, but there was like no context to it. I was trying to read. I couldn't even read the comic. I was laughing too fucking hard.
But it's the most like pissing, like, oh, Jack Thompson, you don't like video games? Well, how about you come fight me?
Oh yeah.
I can make a game better than you could make a game. And I have a webcomic that's definitely not Penny Arcade because it's better because we have miscarriages.
Oh, Tim Buckley.
What if the video game but miscarried?
What if all the tapes that Leo found are just like somebody doing their own fandom? Oh, delete comic.
Dude, I would be so hyped. I would be so jealous.
I'm gonna need that TN DVD, bud.
I gotta recover the tapes. I can't wait for the kid now. Now you got my like curiosity.
What if it's recordings of the Control-Alt-Delete cartoon?
Wait, they made one?
Yeah,
Yes, it
there's a
did.
Control
It was Kickstarter.
official cartoon, and it is gone.
Wait, what if it's like the unaltered like versions of Star Wars? What if it's just like recorded off
Yeah.
television? The pre special edition treatment. Like, like when they used to have like TV movies back in the day, they'd have to put in like all the extra scenes to make the running time for the like TV channel. What if it's just the extended unspecial edition cut? That'd be some gold.
Or like
right
Jabba
there.
is still just some
What
fat
if
guy.
it's the Chilean cut?
Right, with the beer. This was your father's lightsaber.
I don't know
Some
if
would
like
say it's
clapping
the most
is
authentic way to watch those
so proud,
films.
but- I have a VHS copy of I have the VHS trilogy that came in like the box, and I have a home recording that says Star Trek 1, 2, and 3 from my grandparents. One of them's passed, the other one was just like take all the shit. And I don't have a VCR though, and I'm kind of wondering if I actually have like an old OG copy.
I have the 2004 special edition DVDs of Star Wars with the bonus features that are like it's like reading Chinese history, Like it's so much propaganda and bullshit, and all you can think watching it is just like, oh my god, how does anyone think this is true? Like it's straight up like Darth Vader was always considered to be Luke's dad because Vader means father in German, like full bullshit propaganda.
Oh yeah.
I'm bringing the bullshit down.
I recommend anyone track down those special features. They are atrocious. Like
We tried to forecast that Vader would be Luke's father, but because If you look under the mask,
I always meant it that way. Fuck Irvin Kershner. He took credit.
We all thought that guy. I thought he died inside the R2D2 can. So we just spray water on the outside. Like, I heard if you spray water on them while they're still hot, they can crack.
Martha Lucas never existed. I wrote every single one of the films, and I basically directed them.
My real wife
I always wanted them to be.
Here there's the first on-screen depiction of Death Sticks. It was totally in the original cut. Don't think about it.
Jar Jar Binks thinks that we need to build the wall.
He's a funny. Jar Jar is the key to all this because he's a funnier character.
Funny one. He's gonna get the kids to buy all the toys.
I think I might also have that DVD, the one that has all of this.
First draft. It's mostly just says, and then they fight.
I don't know, man. I've got an old tape, VHS tape. It's called like the making of Star Wars, and I think it predates the release of like the special editions. I've got George by the balls if that's the case.
I gave up my money to Disney. Please don't bully me. I can't give you anything.
Find like a pre-divorce interview of George Lucas, like his ex-wife.
When she left me, I thought of the character of Darth.
I'm never going to retouch them or go back again.
I want to throw her in a Sarlacc pit. There's lawyers like, you can't say that on camera, George. I don't care. I want to throw her in the Sarlacc pit when they play the Gazoos. Want to watch her scream?
Yeah, there's a great YouTube series called the Hero's Journey. Like a three-parter on a three-part documentary on like the actual like all the backstabbing bullshit during the production of Star Wars. Like Gary Kurtz lost his job, how Martha Lucas like wrote so many of the scripts and like came up with so many of the concepts that George now takes credit for. It's kind of beautiful.
I gotta watch that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's by SF Debris.
I wanted to call them laser swords. She wanted to call them lightsabers.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of examples that aren't actually that far off from that, where it's just like they hired a science fiction pulp writer to write the original script for Empire Strikes Back, and Martha Lucas was like, I'm just gonna fix some things here. You cool if I make Darth Vader Luke's dad? This needs a twist. Like the plot makes no sense with how obsessed Vader is over finding this one specific guy. Like there needs to be motivation there. Yeah.
He wanted Luke to actually kill Darth Vader in the cave on Dagobah, just in the middle of the movie, and then it's like, well, what about the other 30s? And then that's saved the day. What are you talking about?
One really weird deep cut piece of Star Wars production lore is the original script for Empire Strikes Back. Which was called Splinter of the Mind's Eye, was actually published and is considered a canon. I believe it's still technically canon by like Disney canon standards.
Really? I thought they just accept the movies for canon.
No, I've read that book. That is something else.
Yeah, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which the reason why it might still be canon is because Empire Strikes Back makes specific references to like the events that occur in it. So, yeah, if you want like weird deep cut Star Wars lore that like there's just certain like certain expanded universe stuff that just sort of kind of has to be at least somewhat like Shadows of the Empire is another one where like this, if you consider the special edition cuts canon, then like Dash Rendar is in the background of certain scenes just hanging out. Like what's going on there? Is Shadow of the Empire canon? Who knows?
Wait,
the other day when we were arguing about
isn't he like who's the scoundrel? Who's like the main scoundrel? Like I should know the name.
Han Solo.
Yeah, isn't he like a knockoff Han Solo that's really good?
He's not really good. People just have nostalgia for the character, but
no,
yeah,
you're thinking of
not actually a well-written character.
You gotta think of Kyle Katarn because they made him look bored in Dark Forces.
Dude, Kyle Katarn for life, bro.
Kyle Katarn's kind of lame as shit. I'll be real.
Dude, he punched that fucking lizard to death in the pit. Like that, he's the baddest.
Yeah,
it's true.
He's
like he's cool in the same way that Goku was cool. He's not good
underneath his coat. That made him super cool.
he stole the Death Star plans because he's super cool. Like Kyle Katarn's kind of fucking lame. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, he's lame as fuck, but he's like 12-year-old cool. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's a video game protagonist, which is what his purpose is supposed to be. It's just whenever he shows up as anything other than a video game protagonist.
And then that dude that blew up the moon, Goku fought him and he beat him in one punch.
Like I remember when Rogue One came out, and Rogue One's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's probably the best of the post-Disney buyout Star Wars movies. And when people were like, well, what? Why did they bother making this when we had Dark Forces, which was a way cooler explanation of how they got Dark Forces, the intro level of Dark Forces was not cool. It was lame as shit. Like writing wise, not narratively. Narratively, it makes no fucking sense. It's stupid. But I mean, yeah, is it for a video game opening level? Yeah, it's memorable, but that doesn't make it good. And that's
when you told me you were
with Star Wars Legends / expanded universe stuff. Is like how much of this stuff it was memorable, but it's not. That doesn't mean that's well written.
When you told me you were playing Battlefront 2 Remastered, I was like, oh, maybe she's doing it ironically. Then you dropped a Dax Rendar on me, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Oh, no. I play Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's probably my favorite, it's my favorite shooter where you play as cannon fodder.
Oh, fuck yes. Do you know the sniper rifle has perfect hip fire accuracy?
Yes, I do.
My whole game is either if I'm on mouse and keyboard, I sniper hip fire the whole fucking game. Because I still have the original Battlefront 2 on Steam, but I can't get the start. If I join an online match, my screen goes black. I'm not really sure what the fuck how to fix that because I never used to do that.
I can to fix that. I play the GOG version, and I've been playing the because there was a leak of Star Wars Battlefront 3 a few years ago, which was like a 90% completed game. And so modders just took the leak and they finished it. They like finished the instant action levels and stuff from it. So I was playing that before I hopped in here, and I was playing as Mace Windu, just killing thousands of droids.
I saw a Battlefront 3 mod that lets you go like from surface to space battle in the match. Is that the one?
That's what I was doing. Yep.
Holy
fucking
shit.
A.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I play that one. There's another one I play. Dude, Battlefront 2 mods are fucking insane. I've got all the maps from Battlefront 1 ported over. I've got like locations from Star Wars Rebels as like maps. And it's really fucking cool. I recommend. There's so many. Like, just getting into that game. Don't buy the most recent re-release. It's dog shit from everything. It's a port of the.
Yeah, I saw the Donkey video.
Yeah. Don't play that. Play the original Steam version and just mod the shit out of it, and you'll have a great time. There's one mod I played that's based on the season 7 of Clone Wars. Which which adds a Order 66 mode where you can play as Ahsoka and Captain Rex, and you're on the vendor and you're fighting off waves and waves of stormtroopers. It's outstanding. Like I played that and Movie Battles 2, the mod for Jedi Knight Academy, and that's all the Star Wars games I need, baby.
Hell yeah. No, I had a buddy.
Jar Jar, he's the key to everything.
My wife told me while I was writing Jar Jar, you can't force me to read this, and that's when I had the idea to give Jar Jar the Force.
Now wait,
Here was a secret Sith master all along.
Kyle Katarn was Jar Jar all along. It was his mother.
What were you saying, Zwick?
Yeah, sorry. Now, like you were saying, there was a Battlefront 3 before the EA version.
Yeah, so Star Wars Battlefront 2 and 1 were produced by Pandemic Studios, which were
which were eaten by EA and forced to go into the EA.
Yeah, they were eaten. Yeah, they were eaten by EA. They were producing a Battlefront 3 for 360 and PlayStation 3, that generation of systems, and essentially they canceled the game, they used the single player campaign, and they released that as like a PSP and DS game. It's not very good, but like the multiplayer part of the game was never released. So a couple years ago, they leaked those files, and it just like people were able to port it into Star Wars Battlefront 2's engine.
Wait, how are you supposed to enjoy that game without the microtransactions that EA puts in there, though? That's
I don't know how I'm enjoying it so much.
Money in the fridge.
I was playing Movie Battles 2, which is another Star Wars game mod for Jedi Knight Academy, and people in chat were shit posting, oh yeah, you gotta pay your $20 a month to be able to play this good. Does that come with the season pass? So do I get all the DLC for this fucking game that I bought at Scholastic Book Fair in 2000? Like,
yeah. Bro, so Scholastic Book Fairs were the shit.
Oh, dude, so Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the most like fun arcadey game for Star Wars. The best like Star Wars multiplayer game is Jedi Knight Academy. Holy shit. Everyone deserves to play this game. Nothing else will ever play like it. It's absolutely
I have it uninstalled in my Steam library. I think I got like a $10 deal of like 12 Star Wars games at one point.
Yeah, I reinstall it and install the Movie Battles 2 mod and go fucking.
I mean, it was never installed in the first place, but like it's there. Like I got Morrowind, I got all kinds of shit. Disco Elysium, like. But yeah, it's saying Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy 1, right?
Jedi Academy is the third game in the series, but yeah, I don't think they ever made any more Jedi Academy games. Anyway, the game
like some remasters of some of these games too. Like I know Dark Forces just got a remaster.
There's re-releases. I know, like you can get it on Switch, but you can't get it with the mods. So what's the point?
I think Night Dive Studios redid Dark Forces, if I'm not mistaken. I could very much be wrong.
Dark Forces just got re-released, and I mean, I like that game, but if you couldn't tell by my Kyle Katarn rant, I think it's hilariously overrated.
Cuban in the chat says it's technically the fifth game in the series.
Well,
okay. You're right. Dark Forces 2, Dark Forces Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Okay, it's the fifth game in the series. Okay.
No, Dark Forces was again just like it was a technical marvel of its time when it came out. Like it outdid Quake in terms of like its technical abilities. So again, it's just like it was great for its time to play.
Oh yeah, it's still a good game. Like I did not play it in its prime. It's before my time, but it's a good game. It's just
of all the Doom clones, it makes Chex Quest look like Chex Quest 2.
But no, Star Wars game wise, like at least for multiplayer, those two games are just absolutely outstanding. And like I get it, people want a new multiplayer Star Wars game that's not garbage, but I'm sorry, you're in the EA pits now, baby. Right. We've been suffering this for like the last 15 years. There hasn't been a good Star Wars game released probably since Force Unleashed 1.
Yeah, and that's why I know none of us here cares, but this is why you'll also never get a good football game because EA owns the license to the football game, so to NFL.
Well, it's telling too, man, that like there's not like a lot of new games. We're going back to like these old classics, and again trying to like bring them into like for a modern audience. It's like look at the mess that is like the KOTOR remake. It just like guys,
because you can't remake KOTOR for mass audiences. The fact is, KOTOR only got made because video games were big enough to justify a Star Wars game because George Lucas plays video games, but it wasn't like it was niche enough that you could create a Dungeons and Dragons Star Wars game, and that was and that was your big budget game release that year. You're not going to get that anymore. You can't release a Dungeons and Dragons game and have it sell sell the amount that
what I was getting at. Well, I was getting at was something that you're like keenly aware of, which is they don't need to be remastered because the modding scene has taken care of that and has taken care of that since they got like ported to PC. You want it to look good for like today, there's texture packs for that. If you want some like updated gameplay or sort of things like that, those mods exist.
Exactly.
The modding scene has always taken something classic and brought it up to, as good as it can be. KOTOR 2 is always like one of my favorite examples of modding. Like, I cannot believe what the modders have done with KOTOR 2.
You know what? I'm thinking of a very specific game. Let me look up how many players it has on Steam right now. But
remember when Bethesda started? Oh, sorry, I thought you were done. My bad. Please continue.
But
I'm there.
Yeah, no. There's so many games that subsist damn near entirely on their modding scene, and like it's console users. It's console users that are the biggest the biggest reason why we get these garbage remakes. But the original releases of these games were all fine. They're all like I can play San Andreas
Hell yeah.
this multiplayer mod, and it is out fucking standing and are like on par at the very least with GTA Online. GTA Online, you mod the shit out of that, and it's even a better game. Like it doesn't end.
San Andreas is the fucking best.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like I kind of like 4, they messed up the mechanics, and 5, they perfected the mechanics, but I still miss. This might be just me being old man. Like it was better back in my day, but like I do genuinely like San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto's mechanics more than the new ones. I don't know why.
San Andreas, man, they nailed a tone. They nailed a theme. Like everything about San Andreas was like perfectly hit. 4 was all right, but it didn't have like that same like feel. It just didn't. It was missing something. I don't know if it was Liberty City as the setting or what it was, but it did not have the charm of San Andreas.
Yeah, no, the thing that really pissed me off, like, because I think the story was good and all that, whatever. The thing that pissed me off about it was I would throw a grenade in 4, I would blow a guy up, and then he would get up and shoot at me. So I would throw another grenade at him, and he would blow up, and then he would get up and shoot at me. And I'm like, that's when I was like, what the fuck is going on with this game? And also, like, the hey, hang out with my buddy system, also, like, I think the game put an emphasis way too much on, like, hey, people want to do everything. Let's try to make it so you can do as much stuff as possible. And I think it started to water down the gameplay because of that.
You want to play darts? You want to drive and pick me up and take me to the bar?
Yeah. Where, like, San Andreas, it had
I can play San Andreas,
and it was just enough where it wasn't, like, annoying the shit out of you.
Well, you can get cool perks from that. If you like match the lady who's a cop, you can get like the first one had like or maybe even including the first one, had a perk that you could get that like once you max out their health bar, you can just dump their ass, and there was an in-game reason to do those things. My main thing is San Andreas. I can drive through. I'm sorry.
Right, but if you decline these little invites, like you would lose progress. So if you were, just kind of involved in whatever the fuck you were doing in 4, and some bitch calls you up and says, I want to go to the bar. You told her, no, you lost like progress. You'd have to make up for that. Yeah. So it was like into real life.
San Andreas did that too. Like I'd be like finally about to get that goddamn courier. Hey man, the Yay leaving San Fierro again. But they're using bikes, homie. They fast. Like, okay. And then you're finally about to get the bike and it's like, take some movies. Like, But like even then, San Fierro to Las Venturas to Los Santos. In San Andreas, I could navigate those streets without the minimap. You knew where you were going. It had charm. It had personality. Grand Theft Auto 5, I could never do something like that. They put more activities in an empty, soulless bullshit world. And I'm not a game designer, so I can't put my finger on what it is.
Yeah, because I will say the story's
driving
motorbikes up the hill. But no one plays I'm like one of 3 people that play Grand Theft Auto for the story.
I think the issue coming from somebody that like I have played a lot of hours in GTA 5. But I play GTA 5 to like basically role play as a Batman villain. But like, the difference I think is GTA 5 is so like clinical almost. Like the game feels so serious about itself that you can't like be you can't be goofy in GTA 5. You feel like you can be goofy, take yourself too seriously. I remember people saying it about GTA 4 is that, oh my god, this game takes itself way too seriously. People wanted to go play Saints Row, even though like mechanically Saints Row was a less engaging game. People went to go play Saints Row because it was more because it was just more fun. And that was the thing with San Andreas. Is like, I mean, yeah, the story is well written and serious, but there's also a scene where a fat dude orders like 20 different things from McDonald's.
I'll take 2 number 9s, a number 9 large with extra dip.
And I think they brought it, they reeled it back and made the story better with like Trevor. Like all 3 of those characters work together really good. Like, yeah, Trevor's like the fun one and everyone's favorite, right? I literally me, but like all 3 of those characters are really like have an interesting backstory in some way, shape, or form.
Five is a good game, especially like once you mod it, then you can make it real silly. You can have a great time on the RP servers. Like it's a good game, but when it comes to like just dumb arcadey fun, I mean, San Andreas perfected it, and that was on the PS2.
Yeah.
Saints Row 1 was aping San Andreas more than any other game. Like it's right in the fucking DNA.
Yeah.
That's the saddest part of like for like I remember in Saints Row 2, I would like within 2 hours I could grab myself a katana and I could go to Chinatown and just start chopping up, and it was as ridiculous as it sounds. Like I recreated my Saints Row character in GTA 5, and like yeah, I can do all that, and it's interesting, it's fun. But it doesn't have the same arcadey feel. You almost feel bad for the like insane crimes that you're committing. I mean, not quite. But I remember in GTA 4, the opening was so fucking boring. I never even got to the part where you actually get a fucking weapon. You actually get to do something. I remember during like the opening mission, not the opening mission, but like an hour or 2 into the game, I got bored. I decided to just like start harassing the NPCs and just slamming them into like trash cans. And it was funny. But I remember watching this woman just curl up in pain and fear. And it was like, oh, this kind of like in Saints Row, this woman would have like said, bitch, and tried to like beat me with her purse. And then I would have shot her.
Right.
But I put something in the stream chat that the stream things Discord thing. It's a playing card king drinking Mountain Dew on sunglasses. His name is King Radical, and I was able to make him in Saints Row 2 down to the motorbike with very minimum effort. That's the kind of fucking game I want.
Yeah,
sunglasses, hair, suit, everything. Sorry.
That's the thing. That's the thing that people want. People want San Andreas. People want Saints Row 2. They don't want whatever the fuck, like GTA 5's GTA 5 is even too serious. GTA 4 is way too fucking serious. Like they're good games. You can have fun with them.
Back those stocks, sell those stocks to get like $5 million. Like that was it fell out of touch.
I remember in GTA 5 Online, there was an exploit when they first added the casino to the game. And you could just run a bot in the background and it would just grind you money. And that's one of the ways that I got like millions of dollars. And it was lame as shit. Meanwhile, I play that game completely wrong from how and I hate it because I know the mechanics are fighting against me to play that game the way I want to. I want to attach explosives to a bus and drive it into the middle of traffic. And then blow it up while I start out a shootout with the police. And meanwhile, the game's giving me 5 fucking phone calls telling me, "Oh, you got this mission. Oh, you got this mission. Oh, you got this mission." I don't give a flying fuck. I'm here to go fuck around. I'm here to go fuck around. And yeah, you can have fun with the heist or whatever, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to role play as a fucking Batman villain. Right. Like I'm not here to be a criminal. I'm here to be an insane person, and I can't be an insane person.
That reminds me, like Nikki Jakey got it fucking right. The game takes away your freedom. Like in the older games, you could beat pretty much any boss however you wanted. But with this game, it feels like it wants to be scripted in this open world game, like ruining the purpose of it being open world in the first place.
Exactly. And like there's merit to be had by sticking to your guns and making what Rockstar clearly wants to make. But like, you know what's sad. You know what it boils down to is Red Dead Redemption is a great game. I've gotten a bunch of hours in Red Dead 2 online. I never fucking touched it.
Really?
And because I don't actually own the game. I only own the online component. Anyways, the thing with Red Dead Redemption is there's no arcadey version of Red Dead Redemption. There's no game I can hop into that's just an arcadey cowboy open world game. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is all you got. And as a result, I think I had more fun in the goofiness of that game, even though it has way less mechanically going for it. Just because, like, it's the only fucking thing that scratches this itch. Is that game is way less trying to force me into its mechanics. I don't get constant cell phone calls from whatever the fuck, whoever the fuck trying to get me to do a shitty mission in the background. But like that game, people don't like Red Dead Online. People think it is the shittiest Rockstar Online game. And I'm like, why? Like, it's got less dumb shit to do in the background. If you played GTA 5 Online for the dumb shit you could do in the background, sure. But the fun of a Rockstar game to me is just being a fucking like psychopath in a ridiculous world.
Oh yeah.
Why did we play Bully? It wasn't to it wasn't to do the after school tennis missions. You played Bully to go and be a borderline school shooter. Like that was the fun of that game. Why'd you play Manhunt? It wasn't for the gripping gameplay and graphics, because Manhunt was fucking insanity.
You know what's weird? That game actually bored the shit out of me. Manhunt. I got overhyped on that game.
Yeah, that was, I think, one of the early warning signs that Rockstar was going in a direction that the people that played their early 3D games weren't gonna like.
I'm worried for GTA 6 because the writer retired before that game got started. So the new story writer has a lot of shoes to fill.
I mean, Half-Life Alyx delivered for people, and the Mike Laidlaw left Valve long before that game ever came out. So don't lose faith entirely. But if the online component has less, like, if I can't be my insane self in the online component, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because that's what I want out of a Rockstar game, is to just be a fucking insane person. And it's what I'd want out of a Saints Row game, but I haven't gotten a Saints Row game that scratched that itch since Saints Row 3.
Well,
Lord knows.
And that game actually peaked at Saints Row 2 because it lets you actually layer your clothes.
Well, yeah, Saints Row 2 was better in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's this appeal for the general audience. This mindset. It's got to appeal to everybody. It's got to be a bestseller. You can't have niche games anymore.
Right.
This
is why
right. Well, and that's why the indie scene is always the best thing in any medium, because the indie scene gatekeeps itself by the lack of advertisement. So you don't have to worry about Pizza Tower not pandering to the general audience, because Pizza Tower is made for the specific autists who want to play Pizza Tower. Like my friend's working on a game right now that's like an absurdist Deus Ex, and they couldn't make it. You can't make a Deus Ex again today because it would pander too much to the general audience. Look at the fucking newer Deus Ex games. But you sure as hell can make an indie game like that plays like Deus Ex and looks like Deus Ex, and you can do it for pretty cheap. And that's the thing. That's the thing right now is game development for games that were like the ones when gaming was still felt like it had a soul. It's easy to produce a game, well, relatively, to that level of quality. Mm-hmm. Like right now, you're playing a Game Boy, a spiritual Game Boy Advance game, and that's perfect. That's like
the best part of it too is I'm not a fan of Wario. I think it's okay, and I hate Sonic. And this is a game that just combines the two, and it's like my favorite game of 2023, easily, hands down.
Exactly. And like there's certain indie games that will just completely sell people on genres they would have never touched before. Like I know you like Binding of Isaac, and that's a Zelda roguelike.
Yeah.
And
2 games that I'm not a fan of either. Like, I think Zelda's okay, and I hate roguelikes, but that thing does it for me super well.
And that's the best part is with indies. And same for like films. Like all the best movies that have come out the last few years, they're all indie movies, or they're spiritual indie movies. Like somehow we got a fucking Dune like big budget movie. I still don't know how that happened, but you know, that's the exception that proves the norm. Like Dune was, there were literal jokes a decade ago about Andrew Jodorowsky's Dune adaptation where it was too wacky to ever get made, and now we basically got something very spiritually close to Andrew Jodorowsky's Dune. And I mean, people want it, but the second they start like pandering to people don't know what they want. Like you ask a focus group, oh, what are you looking for? They're going to tell you they want the same slot. They're going to tell you they want Far Cry 3 again. And but you know, Far Cry 3, if you had asked people before Far Cry 3 came out what they wanted, they would have told you Far Cry 3, they would have told you Call of Duty. Focus groups are idiots. Artists are the actual people who know what the fuck they're doing. And well, that's why like we're talking about modding scenes that are keeping games alive and adding new content. Like shit, one of my favorite video game stories is a Skyrim mod that is like just esoteric as shit. It was made by a Japanese dude, and it's a narrow as shit player base, but you know what? It exists, and it's more interesting than anything else that the AAA industry is putting out. You get some games that you know break that mold, and then they'll take that mold and they'll use it to death. Look at Dark Souls.
I think it's, and I don't know, what's your take on this whole Sweet Baby Inc. shit? Is it just a nothing burger? Is it just hoopla over bullshit? Or is there something to it? Because like maybe people are blaming like this company for a larger issue. Like I look at what Sweet Baby Inc. did, right?
Yeah.
And then I kind of look at when what was it, Dragon's Dogma released like a character editor that was like really intensive, and it's like really weird. It's like, you know, maybe there's something to it. Maybe video games have been way too, I don't want to say censored, but certainly sanitized as an appeal to all, or to be non-threatening to literally anybody, to where you get this, you know, this character editor where you can have big ass, big tits, wide hips, and it's somehow some kind of revelation in the gaming market of 2024. There's something like wrong with all of it. There's something really wrong.
Here's the thing. I think it's it's not. I don't think it's their fault that AAA games suck. They were going to suck. They definitely helped with it by making them more sanitized, story-wise, maybe even character design-wise, but sanitization gameplay-wise, that's definitely the company's fault. It's all just sanitized.
We're a far cry from the days of from the days where like the biggest first-person shooters developers said story in games is like story in porn. Like that's we're a far cry from the age where from the age where they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and so you actually got artistically driven big budget productions. Now we're at the point where they have formulas, and it's just been sanitized. I mean, every medium's been sanitized at this point to a disgusting degree that nobody enjoys this sanitized. Not like, how many people have you met that are just like, oh man, I liked one of the Marvel shows and every other one of them was dog shit. And maybe that's because they greenlit one artistic project and everything else has just been nothing.
Well, like my view on like the Marvel stuff, man, was like, it was like I don't want to call it a disconnect between, but like, all right, take like Daredevil, the original one for Netflix, bloody, you know, gory, just visceral, and just, it was its own thing. And then you've got like, you know, the larger movies that came out. It was separate. It got to be its own thing. It got to tell a story that they wanted to tell, and it didn't, you know, it didn't fit this, I don't know, I want to say kid friendly like view of stuff. But now that they're trying to like smash these series all together, you know, it's lost its character. You know, you can't have that bloody, you know, beat up, you know, Murdoch and Kingpin as terrible like as a man he was, and put him up next to like Iron Man and Captain America. They're so different. And when you try and cram it together, you like sacrifice everything that made like Daredevil like a really cool series to watch.
Well, and ironically, that's the same thing that happened to comic books. Like you were trying to smash these characters that didn't fit in together and all together in these big events. And yeah, it sold initially, but now nobody buys comic books. The last comic book I remember people talking about that actually sold and was like a Marvel comic book was fucking Civil War. And that was what, 2005?
Yeah, it's that general audience. I swear to God that those two words keep popping in my head. It's got to have mass appeal. It's got to go to the general audience. And man, the general audience, like you said, they're too nuanced. That there is no such thing as, you know, one size fits all, other than the term general audience. You know, it doesn't work. What I like is not what you like, and what Zwick likes isn't what I like. Mm-hmm. We've got, you know, different tastes. We might appreciate the same stuff, but we might like it for an entirely different reason. So you can't take Zwick's Sonic Wario
Zwick gets mad at me for the way I play so many games.
Right. You're doing it wrong.
Exactly. And if you develop a game with the mindset of, you know, Zwick's the general audience, then I'm not going to be satisfied. And yeah, Zwick might be satisfied in GTA, but that's one person. And meanwhile, you know, if you made a game that pandered to just me, like basically you need to have a fucking vision. You need to know what you're making and have focus. But instead, these AAA developers are more interested in trying to appeal to everyone, and as a result, they appeal to no one. Like
it's not the developers that's the problem. It's businessman that's the fucking problem. They think they know what they're doing, and they think they know what's right.
Right. It's businessman, and it's called return on investment, right. ROI.
And I think the funniest thing ever was when like every game developer after Baldur's Gate 3 came out was just like, yeah, just so you guys are aware, there's no way they're going to let us greenlight these games. It would be way too risky to make a game like this. Uh-huh. And lo and behold, they shut down the studio that made Baldur's Gate 3 like a month or two after the game released, even though it sold well, even though people liked it, because that's just how big corporations work now. And it's fucking insanity. Even when you make something that, yeah, is successful and has artistic soul, it's not enough. Nothing is ever enough for these fucking leeches of society. All they want is to see profit go up and see profit go up exponentially. They can't even settle for profit go up because it's an unsustainable system. And at this point, we're reaching the bell curve where it's going to start crashing. And yeah, indie games still exist, and they are way fucking better. And you should stop focusing on the garbage that is coming out of these AAA productions. Stop doing it to yourself.
Because here's the problem. It's not enough that you made profit. You have to make profit more than you did last year, or else number don't go up. Because if you didn't make as much profit as you did last year, number goes down, stocks go down, right? And you failed as a company, right? I hate the fucking stock market. So like video games if Steam goes public, please kill me, right? Because it's just going to ruin the ecosystem that Steam has right now. Because it takes risks of going up and down in the good way and not the bad way.
Well, and that's because Steam isn't run by these fucking industry leeches. I mean, none of these people that are actually running these things have ever actually done anything successful in the industry. They just bought their way into CEO positions, and for these companies that were already successful, and then they ran them into the fucking ground. Look at the greatest example I think is 90s Electronic Arts was like an indie auteur. Like the whole thing was, we're gonna make video games like you make an album. Like it's indie, it's auteur. The credits to the are to the game developers, not just to the studio itself. Like that shit was fucking insane. The people that made Myst, the people that made Mule, but then they got bought. Then they got bought by these major CEOs that wanted to turn them into soulless cash grubbing monsters. And look at what's gotten them. They're not where they were. They don't have they've been voted the worst company in the United States for like 20 years running.
Right. Which, to be clear, they're not. But it is telling that that a lot of people think that. Like if you're comparing them to like BP or Monsanto, like. They're not the worst, but that has to like eat at your soul. If like that should you think they would try to improve on their business model to make it more consumer friendly and better for the developers and like actually take time on video games. But that
like
doesn't
the
make
fact
the number
is,
go
morality isn't what sells. What sells is just being able to get that one hit. Get that one game every few years that will make profit margins like that. Like look at again Far Cry 3, Skyrim, games that were accidentally like mass appeal games that had they had artistic soul, but everything after it was just a soulless cash grab.
And it sucks because boycotting won't work because like I already boycott them because I don't like their games, right? The people who buy them are fucking idiots. So we're kind of stuck like with a company getting bought by EA. And like I guarantee because they're still buying games. Like that's your last chance of like getting your game finished is being bought by EA.
Exactly. And at what cost do you take that risk? Like look at BioWare. I mean, they got bought by EA to finish Mass Effect, and look at what they've done since. Like look at Mass Effect 3.
Oh yeah. If I ever had a video game company and then I had to sell it to EA, I would just quit and make a new company. I'd be like, no, you can have my old IPs. You're never gonna let me use them anyway.
That's why kind of like this. It's always why I've had like a really strange fascination and appreciation for SNK. Like if you've ever wanted to like watch the ups and downs, trials and tribulations of a company, go check out SNK. I have like a really odd respect for them.
They
wacky, I love them.
They were ride or die for pixel art and like keeping 2D game design alive at their own loss. Like they released it.
Right. Well, no, they were the company that like went through like the worst of it. Like, you know, they were King of Fighters and some other titles, but like they got bought out by sold or bought out. I forget the circumstances, by a company that put them into pachinko machines. They turned SNK's like, you know, IP into just pachinko shit. And
they were the first big company to do the pachinko slave pit, but they were also one of the first ones to escape that. Like they came back and they made Fighters 14 and
some of the original employees for one of them, I forget who, you know, made it, you know, was he in SNK, got out of the company, did his own thing. I think it was Evermore or something like that. But then when SNK went under and they went the pachinko route, and the pachinko route wasn't working out for them, he bought like the company back bit by bit by bit, you know, and brought former staff, and he brought like SNK back to life. Jeez. And back to its former glory. Yeah, it's fascinating. Go check out SNK. They're unique in it. And they're still fighting for it. They're still putting out King of Fighters. And they're still riding like the margins when it comes to profits on that. They're like struggling to retain their identity.
Do they?
They're one bad.
Basically, from their whole existence. I mean, they're a company that started off successful in the arcades at the end of arcade like prominency worldwide. I mean, the arcades are still big in Japan, and thank God they're a Japanese company, because otherwise, there's no way SNK would have survived the 90s. Like, there's no way you could make the Neo Geo and and see that sort of overturn.
Absolutely. Like, I just got mad respect for them because they struggled so hard just to maintain or to come back from the brink, as it were. It'd be so easy just to sell off your IPs, or sell it off to an EA type. But
Konami.
every time they put out like a King of Fighters game, it has to sell. Otherwise, they're like going under. They're always riding that black and red. But
I bought King of Fighters 13 just purely because I support the concept of that game so much. Like,
and it's gorgeous. 13 is gorgeous.
Big budget fighting game with just outstanding pixel art. It's the greatest pixel art in any game ever, and that's because they spent the 2000s perfecting pixel art.
I love 13, and that was because they always had like a history of recycling sprites, and it was just those sprites were kind of like at the end of their use. You had to update with the times, so they completely. I think 13 had like the most fighters for a King of Fighters game, and they revamped everything. There were no more recycled sprites. This wasn't Street Fighter 2 turning into Alpha and Alpha into 2. They redid it from the ground up under severe crunch. And it's gorgeous. You can tell like heart and soul went into King of Fighters 13. I love that game.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing is they're an exception that proves the rule, honestly. Like the soulless cash grabs, the nonsense that is the AAA gaming industry. I mean, I there's so few AAA games that get released now that are even worth a damn. I mean, I think the last one I gave two shits about was Elden Ring, and that was almost 2 years ago now.
Oh yeah, it's still $60, by the way. I was hoping it would die down eventually.
I'm waiting for it. I hope it goes on a decent sale for this Steam sale because I want that game. I want that game so fucking bad. And occasionally you get auteurs that are able to produce games that are actually worth a damn. Cyberpunk is a outstanding accomplishment of video games.
Yeah, it ain't just Elden Ring that's still $60. It's like every one of those games.
Hey, Cuban B, Alex, how's it going? It's my friend Alex. You haven't met him before. Sorry about that. He's been popping in and saying stuff in Twitch, but he knows what he's talking about.
What's going on here?
What's up, dude?
Good talk.
Oh, right. Now I can squeeze my dick jokes in. Do you think anyone's ever been in the shower and just been like, oh, that guy's got a 5 skin?
Oh, you want to talk about dick jokes, Zwick? Have you got that dick out of your mind yet?
No. Dude, that dick is so fucking big. It should be illegal for that dick to exist.
Zwick has not been able to stop thinking about black dick for like the last week.
When is he ever?
Well, you see, this is part of the cuckold conditioning. I'm slowly getting him into BBC.
Is this like an alternate form of sissy hypno you're trying on me?
Yeah, it's liberal hypno.
It's liberal hypno. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you to vote for Biden by the election.
I knew you were a CIA plant this whole time. Fuck. I knew you were too cool.
Oh, of course, I'm joking. There's no way that somebody would just go on the internet and try and get people to fetishize black porn in order to increase Democrat vote. Oh, wait, that actually happened.
Is that a real thing? I don't.
Yeah, it was. It was. I don't think it was done by the CIA, but there was somebody who's like on 4chan trying to get people into like black cuck porn and fart porn. It's the funniest thing.
Of course that would be done on 4chan. Where else would it be fucking done?
Oh, TikTok.
Well, you can't use TikTok anymore because the Chinese own it, and God bless it. Yeah. I will only use glowy apps if it's an American company spying and stealing all of my data.
It's better, but not much.
For Mark Zuckerberg, who's stealing my data because he cares. Because it's just because he's worried about me, you know? It's not because of any other reason. They don't suck my data dry like a shitty prostitute. Oh my god.
Well, that's the thing. They kind of work hand in hand. The thing is, the CIA can't control TikTok. They can control Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
God forbid the Chinese are spying on us too. Like we're spying on all the rest of the world. Shit.
Oh yeah, no.
Wow.
What I'm saying is that they can't be controlled. That's why TikTok's illegal, because the U.S. government can't control TikTok. So that's why they're on board of getting rid of it.
I think it was the pro-Trump Russian propaganda that probably set them off to this shit. Like, oh, we can't have a foreign nation controlling our propaganda machines. Meanwhile, any sane fucking person's just like, it's just a fucking video. Like, it's sad. The kids deserve to have Facebook, and they deserve deserve to have TikTok, but they deserve to not be spied on to use TikTok. And I get that, but the kids deserve their TikTok. They were having fun with it in the same way that we deserve YouTube.
Don't do it.
The CIA did what? Whoa. You're telling me that the CIA just injected people with syphilis? I'm going to need to see some source. Oh, wait, that's a real source. Oh, they really did that? Well, they said they were sorry. I'm sure they'll never do anything like that again. The CIA.
Oh, yeah, like they didn't do a pedophile island or anything. That'd be ridiculous, right?
Oh my God, what kind of insane conspiracy theory? Like, you really think that the elites are such fucking degenerate scum that they would have an entire island devoted to having sex with children on American soil, and just blatantly, when they get caught, they kill the guy who has the list of their names, and we just act like nothing happened even after we know exactly who was fucking those kids.
Yeah, crime does. If you have enough money, crime doesn't matter.
Bill Clinton fucked children on an island on U.S. soil, and he's not in prison.
Oh, yeah. Just join the Illuminati, and you're good.
Yeah, I love that they tried to rope Trump into it with those AI pictures.
Oh, no, Trump was fucking the kids, too.
I mean, probably. But his name ain't on the list.
I keep getting different lists. I don't know if he's on the list or not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Look, Donald Trump's the man who has sex with children. Just look.
Wouldn't it have been nice if we had somebody that could have just told us, yeah, I was there. My name's Epstein. Here's everyone who was there. Wouldn't that have been nice to have? We just can't have anything nice anymore.
If only there was like somebody named Jeff that could have just told us who was having sex with those children, so we could like enact lawful repercussions for their horrifying crimes against humanity.
Could you point him out in court, Mr. Epstein? Yeah, that guy right there.
Donald J. Trump, Bill Clinton, George Bush. It's all of them. Oprah, Stephen Hawking.
It does make me happy that everybody's like on board that like, no, he didn't. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever met anyone that actually believes that he killed himself. So that society is in the right direction.
Okay, yeah, but like only now are we getting people like general audiences to go. Like, my coworker was like, "Did you know JFK was like killed by the CIA?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did. Glad you finally woke up."
I just want to live in a world where every conspiracy theory is true. I want JFK to have been shot by Bigfoot with an actual magic bullet. I want them all to be true.
What are you talking about? Magneto. Magneto turned the bullets trying to protect him.
But Jar Jar did it. He's the key to everything, remember?
Oh yeah, Jar Jar.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the secret Sith Lord.
I want that. I want those Nazi Antarctic bases to be true, and real flying UFO machines. I want to feel like we never did land on the moon the first time, but we did play golf on there. And we found moon monsters, and moon dinosaurs lived on Mars and shit. Yeah, I want it all to be true.
You know what sucks? The government confirming that there might be aliens confirms that, like, oh, they're doing everything in their power to distract us from us being economically fucked over.
Right? Just like here, we've been covering this up for 50 years. We got to cover up this new thing. So yeah, we've been chatting with aliens and shit.
Yeah,
they come from the big hole in Saturn. We're actually really chill with them and whatnot. Us politicians, we retire on Saturn when it's all said and done. We go up with them. That's actually where Catholic heaven is. It's where all the souls go, and then we rape the souls of the children.
Yeah,
because we went to Epstein Island.
Also,
this is what we do.
Also, he said
Started
that
Epstein's
the
comet
aliens-
around Saturn.
The aliens also said that it's okay for elites to have sex with children, but nobody else. Just them.
Right.
Just
Aliens
so
told
clear.
us age is just a number, but only us.
Only us.
Age is only a number when the number in your bank account no longer means anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Earth is only 5,000 years old. We've just been making up shit since you poor people learned to read.
I think the funniest piece of art that's just completely like lost on modern audiences is Deus Ex, which the whole joke in that game was supposed to be, oh yeah, all of your dad's batshit conspiracies, those turned out to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Because damn near all of them, like not all of them, obviously, but such a large chunk of the conspiracy theories depicted in Deus Ex came true.
Right. Which I don't think
Down
was
to,
done on
like,
purpose, to be fair.
They're gonna fake destroying the World Trade Center in order to justify a war for oil.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's
that was a plot point.
the same shit in Metal Gear Solid 2. It basically predicted how the internet would become.
Yep.
The Earth is
Although,
hollow. That's why we don't want you to dig no more
thing
holes.
with, the thing with like Japanese media predicting how the internet would be, like their internet was just kind of like that at that point. Like they already had essentially a lot of the features that are talked about in like Zero Experiments Lane or Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it wasn't so much that, oh, they predicted things. Just no, Japan was just ahead of the curve at the time. I think giving these shows and giving these games credit for like predicting things, it was just like already a thing. You could download DLC for Pokemon Crystal on your cell phone in 2000.
I didn't even know that was a game in 2000.
That's what Japan had. So claiming that they were so ahead of they predicted all this, it's not prediction. It was just they were ahead of the curve. Zwick, how much
right.
longer do you think you're going to be gay tonight?
Oh, yeah, no, I can end it now if y'all want. I'm exhausted too. Sorry, you came in a little late.
Oh, that's okay.
Alex, I'm glad you joined.
That's perfectly fine. I was busy doing stuff and drinking wine.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Make
basic.
myself something for dinner, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I don't think there's anyone to eat. All right. Bye, everyone.
The brother man belt is the brother living at the top of the